The moment so many fans have been waiting for has finally arrived. The Summer I Turned Pretty has reached the end of its television journey. And what a journey it has been. But here's the surprise that no one expected. This story isn't really over. In fact, it's about to take a dramatic turn with a feature film that promises to bring Belly's story to a final and unforgettable conclusion. Now, before we dive into what the movie has in store, let's pause for a moment and talk about where Season 3 left us. The ending was one of those moments that fans will be debating for years. On one hand, it gave us something we had been waiting for since the very beginning. Belly and Conrad finally reunited, declaring their love for each other after seasons of heartbreak, hesitation, and emotional distance. It was the happy ending many wanted, but it also came with complications that raised just as many questions as it answered. Why were so many important details from the book left out? Why did the show choose to give us a reunion that felt both fulfilling and incomplete at the same time? And most importantly, why did the story end in a way that left Belly and Conrad together, but strangely isolated from everyone else? These choices were not random. They were deliberate, carefully designed to prepare us for the next chapter that can only be told on the big screen. Season 3's finale took us all the way to Paris, where Belly had been living on her own. She was exploring independence, finding confidence, and shaping a new identity away from her small-town summers. She wasn't the same girl anymore. Paris allowed her to step into the role of a young woman who was bold, free, and almost unrecognizable from the Belly we first met years ago. But then Conrad showed up at her door. His presence shook everything she thought she had figured out. Suddenly, Belly's carefully built independence collided with old feelings she thought she had left behind. Conrad saw her new life, her new friends, and even questioned if someone else had taken his place in her heart. Belly, on the other hand, was thrown into a storm of emotions. She had grown into someone new, but Conrad's return reminded her of who she truly was underneath all the Parisian glamour. It wasn't just about falling back in love. It was about facing her truest self. The reunion wasn't simple. It wasn't filled with instant joy. Instead, it was awkward, messy, and full of tension. And that's exactly why it felt real. Belly and Conrad had to confront their feelings head-on, working through the heartbreaks and mistakes of the past before finally reconciling. Their love was rekindled, but it came at a cost. It left them standing together, yet somehow apart from the world around them. Meanwhile, life kept moving for the rest of the characters. Jeremiah discovered a new passion as he trained to become a chef, supported by Taylor, who launched a PR campaign for him. Taylor and Steven also decided to step into their own future together, solidifying their bond. But notice the contrast here. While Jeremiah ended the season surrounded by love, support, and even a new relationship, Conrad and Belly were left almost in isolation, standing on their own without the same warmth of family or friends. And that is where the story plants its seed for the upcoming movie. Jenny Han, the creator of the series, didn't make this choice lightly. By leaving Conrad and Belly together yet apart from everyone else, she set the stage for new conflicts, bigger challenges, and an ending that requires more than just another season. It demands the power of a feature film. So why a movie? Why not just continue with Season 4 and wrap things up there? That's the question fans immediately asked. The moment Prime Video and Jenny Han revealed that Belly's story would not end on television, but instead in a feature film. The answer is both simple and fascinating. Jenny Han explained that she always saw Belly's journey as more than just 3 seasons of television. For her, the series was about growth, about the long path from childhood summers to adult choices. And to fully capture that final milestone, the kind of milestone that changes a person forever, she believed only a movie could do it justice. When she reflected on Season 3, Han admitted that she knew the story was leading to Belly and Conrad's reunion. That was the emotional core, the payoff for everything that came before. But she also realized that rushing the aftermath into a short epilogue would never feel satisfying. How do you show the reality of dating your ex's brother in just a few minutes? How do you capture the weight of seeing family members, friends, and an entire community still connected to that past? These are not questions that can be brushed aside. They demand time, they demand focus, and that is what the movie promises. It will take us beyond the surface reunion and dive into the challenges that follow. Because let's be honest, falling in love is one thing. Staying in love, especially when the past is filled with heartbreak and tangled relationships, is something else entirely. Belly and Conrad are together now. But what happens when they face the everyday realities of their complicated history? That's the question Jenny Han wants to explore. And she chose the movie format because it allows for depth without stretching the story thin. Another interesting point is that Jenny Han felt 3 seasons on television were complete. She said it felt like the right arc, the perfect rhythm to close the chapter of the show. Adding another season, in her view, would have been too much. It would risk diluting the story with unnecessary conflict, when fans were already desperate to see Conrad and Belly finally together. Instead of dragging out their relationship problems for another 10 episodes, the film will cut straight to the final stage, focused, powerful, and emotionally resonant. But here's the catch. Movies take time. Producing a feature film often requires 2 years or more, and that means fans will have to wait longer than expected to see the conclusion, and that's where the frustration begins. Many viewers, after investing 3 full seasons, felt they deserved closure right then and there. Instead, they are left in limbo, waiting for the silver screen to deliver the ending. Was this a brilliant decision or a risky gamble? That's up for debate, and it's one of the reasons the announcement shocked so many people. In fact, the reveal itself was dramatic. It happened in Paris after the finale screening of Season 3. The cast posed for photos in front of a glowing marquee that read, "The Summer I Turned Pretty, the Movie." Fans were caught off guard, many of them unaware that the story would continue at all. But for Jenny Han, this was always part of the vision. She wanted the next chapter to carry weight, to feel monumental, and she was convinced that only a film could give it that sense of permanence. What makes this even more intriguing is that she has already completed a draft of the script, and the project is officially in development. The film is not just an idea floating around, it is actively being shaped into reality. But Jenny Han has also made one thing very clear: timing matters. She wants the actors themselves to grow closer to true adulthood, to embody the maturity of the characters naturally. For her, this authenticity is crucial. When Belly and Conrad step into the final stage of their relationship, it should feel earned, raw, and deeply human. So yes, we may be waiting, but that wait could very well make the story even more impactful. Imagine watching the characters not just age on screen, but also grow as people in real life, bringing that depth into their performances. That kind of realism can't be faked, and it's something Jenny Han believes will make the film unforgettable. But what exactly can we expect when this movie finally arrives? What secrets will it uncover? And what emotional storms are still ahead for Belly, Conrad, Jeremiah, and everyone else? That's where things start to get really interesting. Now let's step into the heart of the speculation. What will this long-awaited movie actually cover? Jenny Han has already dropped some important clues, and together they paint a picture of a story that's both emotional and dramatic, with one final milestone at its center. She revealed that the movie will focus on the single biggest moment left in Belly's journey. And if you've read the books, you already know what that means. This story is leading toward a wedding. But before we reach the vows in the aisle, there's an entire storm of emotions, choices, and conflicts waiting to unfold. One of the most anticipated scenes that the show never delivered is Belly reading Susanna's letter. That letter, written with love and foresight, is a guiding light for Belly as she steps into adulthood. Seeing her finally read it on screen will not only bring closure to Susanna's legacy, but also connect Belly's past, present, and future in a powerful way. Fans have been waiting for this moment, and the movie promises to give it the attention it deserves. But that's only the beginning. The film will also explore how Belly and Conrad manage their relationship across distance. Love letters, late-night calls, the aching yearning of being apart, yet deeply connected. These will be the threads that weave their story together. It will be romantic, yes, but also raw and challenging, because long-distance love is never simple. And when you add the shadows of past heartbreak, the stakes become even higher. Another lingering question from the show is the mysterious Christmas photographs shown at the very end of the series. Who took them? Why were they included? Fans have been buzzing with theories, and the movie promises to finally answer that. It's a small detail, but it holds symbolic weight, and Jenny Han has hinted that these moments will not be ignored. And then comes the biggest leap of all, the time jump. The movie is expected to fast forward through months, even years, showing Belly and Conrad not just as young adults in love, but as a couple preparing to step into the lifelong commitment of marriage. Belly won't be the carefree teenager anymore. She'll be a woman ready to build a life with Conrad, while Conrad himself will have achieved his dream of becoming a doctor. This jump in time raises the stakes dramatically, moving the story into uncharted territory. Of course, Jeremiah's role cannot be ignored. The series left him with a new love interest, a fresh beginning, and the comfort of friends who supported him. The film will likely expand on that, showing him in a relationship that proves he has truly moved on from Belly. But let's be honest. Can someone ever really move on from a love that lasted years and ended in heartbreak? Especially when your brother is the one marrying the girl you once loved? That's the question that will linger in every interaction Jeremiah has, no matter how supportive he appears. This dynamic opens the door to tension that cannot be neatly tied up. Because while the wedding may symbolize a happy ending for Belly and Conrad, it also forces every character to confront old wounds. Family bonds, friendships, and loyalties will all be tested in ways that no summer romance could have prepared them for. What excites me most about this setup is how it mirrors real life. Love stories are rarely perfect. They're filled with moments of joy, yes, but also fear, doubt, and the constant question of whether the choices we make will truly bring happiness. By centering the movie on a wedding, Jenny Han isn't just giving us a romantic finale. She's inviting us to witness the kind of choice that defines a lifetime, and that, more than anything else, is why this film feels so essential. It isn't just tying up loose ends. It's about giving weight to the biggest decision Belly will ever make. So here we are, standing at the edge of the story's greatest chapter. The Summer I Turned Pretty began as a tale of youth, of innocent summers by the beach, of love triangles and heartbreaks that shaped a teenage girl's world. But now it's about to end as a story of adulthood, of commitment, of choices that can no longer be undone. Jenny Han has made it clear that this movie is not just a continuation. It's the final milestone, the one moment that carries the weight of everything that came before. And that's what makes it so compelling. Because this isn't just about whether Belly chooses Conrad or Jeremiah. That choice has already been made. It's about what happens after, when choices turn into consequences, when passion must stand the test of reality. Think about it. Belly has always been caught between who she wanted to be and who others expected her to be. In Paris, she found independence, a chance to rewrite herself, a chance to be bold and carefree. But when Conrad appeared at her door, the truth came crashing back. She cannot escape who she really is or who she truly loves. That tension, between the life she imagined and the life she cannot let go of, is what the movie will explore in full. And yet, love alone isn't enough. The weight of family hangs over everything. Jeremiah may smile and move on with someone new, but deep down, the scars remain. Their friends may cheer Belly and Conrad on, but old loyalties and past pain won't vanish overnight. Even Susanna's memory, carried through her letter, will be a reminder that love requires sacrifice, honesty, and sometimes forgiveness. That's why the movie matters so much. It isn't simply a romance. It's a test of endurance. Can Belly and Conrad build a life together when the past still lingers in every shadow? Can Jeremiah truly let go and support his brother's happiness? Can a fractured family ever come together again to celebrate love without reopening old wounds? These are the questions waiting to be answered. And then there's the wedding itself. Weddings are more than ceremonies. They are turning points. They are the moment when two people don't just declare love, but promise to carry it forward for the rest of their lives. For Belly, who once doubted her place in Conrad's world, and for Conrad, who struggled for years to open his heart, this wedding represents a promise that neither can break. It's for keeps, as Conrad once told her. And that realization will either bring peace to everyone involved or ignite conflicts that cannot be hidden beneath vows and celebrations. Jenny Han has promised authenticity, timing, and emotional depth. She wants the actors themselves to grow closer to true adulthood, so that when they step into this chapter, it feels real. Not scripted, not rushed, but lived. That's why the wait, as frustrating as it may be, could become the very thing that makes this ending unforgettable. The Summer I Turned Pretty began as a summer story, but its ending is something much greater, a story about love that endures seasons, trials, and the weight of time itself. And when the film finally arrives, it won't just be another installment. It will be the moment that defines Belly's journey once and for all. So, as we wait for the release date to be revealed, the excitement builds. Will the wedding deliver the closure fans have been craving? Will Conrad and Belly finally stand together not just in love, but in life? And will Jeremiah's path truly prove he has let go of the past? One thing is certain, this movie promises to be more than a conclusion. It will be a celebration of growth, of heartbreak overcome, and of love that survives the test of time. And when the credits finally roll, it won't just be the end of a story. It will be the end of an era,